Greetings to everyone. Thank you for joining us. It's an understatement when I say that the world is changing fast. In fact, the reality is change is changing faster. And an intelligence revolution is sweeping every industry, everything out there. But I must say that what does not change is the commitment we have to earning your trust on a daily basis. And I know that we earn that trust through the quality of the product we deliver, the security of our offerings, the performance that we deliver to our users, and delivering on what we say we will deliver and doing that. It also gets delivered through our support team, which is world-class in my opinion. Now, when we look at this intelligence revolution, let's take a look at it from the vantage point of business transition itself. In the 90s, we built the internet, and that created the connected business. In the 2000s, we went to the digital business where all the connected value chain was reporting telemetry, and you did the hard work of bringing all that data together, getting it analyzed so that we could improve the value chain itself. But now begins the era of the autonomous enterprise. So what do I mean by the autonomous enterprise? An autonomous enterprise uses its knowledge, applies agentic reasoning, AI reasoning to its value chain, and delivers a much, much better experience, much better outcome for its own customers. That's what an autonomous business is. Now, we can see many examples, but most of those examples are incremental in nature in terms of the benefits of the autonomous enterprise. Like one that comes to my mind, and I believe that this is not that far away, would be that an agent automatically keeps track of my flights, schedules me, reroutes me through a different option when it predicts that my flights will be delayed, reschedules all the meetings, working with everybody who I'm supposed to meet, and I just tells me when to leave the home, right? Now that crosses domains, it goes across industries, but does the job for me. That would be an autonomous agent helping me, right? That is the sign of times that are upon us. Now, the autonomous enterprise is delivered through a complete change in the enterprise tech stack. What we are used to are a bunch of applications. Like, typically any enterprise has about 140 different applications. Each application has a user interface, it has business logic, and it has a database. And it's a silo by itself. The user interface is very workflow-centric. Humans and technology automated workflows, and we work together. But that is changing, completely changing. A new tech stack is underway. And guess what? You are going to be the superheroes of that new tech stack. Why? Because the foundational layer of that is the knowledge fabric. This is where all data, all the context that Steve alluded to, context that may be in conversations, that may be in documents, that may even be in our heads, it is brought together in a knowledge fabric where all silos are busted. Those silos across different apps, they're all busted. So this is not something that is just beginning to be done. You have been building it. You have been bringing things together. I'm going to take a pause and give you a round of applause because you have been building this stuff. On top of the knowledge fabric is the agent layer. Humans and agents working together, they can't succeed without the knowledge fabric. And on top of the agent layer is the outcomes layer, because that interface is changing. Instead of a workflow-centric interface, we are going to an outcome-centric interface. This is the new enterprise tech stack that we foresee. Teradata is evolving our vision to support the new enterprise tech stack. We are evolving to an AI and knowledge platform. An autonomous AI and knowledge platform. Why do I say that? Knowledge essentially means an expansion from structured data to include all the context that AI needs. And as I shared with you, this could be unstructured information, multimodal, multidimensional. Teradata, with its vector store capabilities launched this year, already supports the beginnings of a great knowledge platform. Having said that, Teradata is also an AI platform, and we'll talk a lot about that today. Why? Because it is better to co-locate AI with where the knowledge is than to take knowledge where AI is. And that's why we're investing in the AI platform. And if we have to support an autonomous enterprise, then all the technology that supports an autonomous enterprise itself must be autonomous. And I'll talk about what that means. We are bringing this vision to life through 3 pillars of our strategy. First is an absolute focus on foundational excellence. I think you will like that because you're all customers. By foundational excellence, I mean experience, economics, and ecosystem. And I'll cover that during our conversation today and tomorrow. The second pillar of the strategy is to deliver AI with ROI. This is close to our hearts. I think Gaurav just mentioned 60% of AI projects are probably going to die because of bad data. Data not ready. AI-ready data is a big deal. AI-ready knowledge is a big deal. And McKinsey says 95% of AI projects are failing. So that is why the focus, Teradata's focus is essentially AI with ROI. And we'll talk about that. The third pillar is also very, very dear to my heart, which is to be the best platform for hybrid environments. Why do I say that? Because that is the reality of the world. Knowledge and data is not all clean and nice and in one place, in one cloud. Some of it is in on-prem environments, some of it is in different clouds. And Teradata is built and architected from day one to support you where your knowledge is. And not only just give you different instances, but instances that actually connect via query grid to deliver a seamless experience and actually more value. So, how do we bring this vision of an autonomous AI and knowledge platform to life? Let's start with the Teradata tech stack itself. Here is what the product and engineering team at Teradata are doing. They have a clear focus. Every layer of the tech stack must see non-linear improvement in the service of our customers. We're going to make big changes in this stack. We are making big changes in this stack. Let me start with that hybrid conversation. We're doing a full refresh of our hardware platform next year. And it's going to be a transformational solution because it's going to take that world of on-prem data warehouse to an on-prem AI and knowledge platform. We're going to make sure that the same stack, the same software stack is available in cloud environments, multi-cloud environments, and in the on-prem environments, connected by that query grid. It means you get the same pricing model, the same user experience, the same interface with the applications, the same database, the same vector store, no matter where you are. Distributed intelligence at its best, only Teradata can deliver that. When we look at AI with ROI, and we'll cover that in more detail shortly, there is a huge investment we are making in that to enable outcomes. But the other pillar is foundational excellence. First pillar within that is experience, and we're going to show the upcoming user experience with Teradata. The second sub-pillar inside of that is economics. You're going to see us deliver choice in your data option. Not only will we have the most performant, low latency, high concurrency solution with block storage, you're going to have a very performant solution with OTF and object storage. So you have choice. You can choose your data architecture. You can choose to bring unstructured and structured information together. And when it comes to compute, and we'll talk about that tomorrow, we will have both options, always on and on demand with auto scaling, delivering choice and economics for your deployments. That is unparalleled. That is unparalleled. That is unique in the industry. But the third sub-pillar of the foundational excellence piece is the ecosystem. And I like to say this. Ecosystem integrations must go beyond PowerPoints and press releases. They must go with shipping code that actually gives benefits to our customers. They must work with 1 + 1 = 11 paradigm. And we are absolutely committed to integrating with cloud providers, AI providers, hardware and infrastructure providers, applications, and open source at a pace that is rapid but focused on the use cases for you. Let me give a little description of the autonomous part of the vision statement. What do I mean by that? Think of it this way. Every engineering sub-team inside of Teradata is building agents that make the Teradata stack more intelligent, more autonomous, easy to use. And we're going to talk through some examples of that today and tomorrow. That's what we mean by autonomous. Today, we're going to cover the AI platform, but I want you back tomorrow because we're going to cover the knowledge and compute pieces of that story. So let's get into the first part of the autonomous platform, which is the user experience itself. I'm excited to share that what is going on there is a user experience that is agentic, increasingly autonomous, optimized for the user, the admin user, the data user, the agent builder, and it is more and more natural language driven, which means that when you are going to work with Teradata, you're going to work with a human. Don't take my word for it. Let's invite to the stage Jillian, who heads all of our product management for everything user experience, to see what's coming up. Jillian? Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Sumeet.
Absolutely.
We will take a real use case. A global retail warehouse must ensure high availability of popular items. A stock out of a high, fast-moving SKU could lead to lost revenue, order cancellations, and poor customer satisfaction. Let's take a look into the future of Teradata's user experience, where intelligence meets intuition. Our inventory analyst receives an email that they're at risk of running out of stock. They click on the notification where they're prompted to sign in with Enterprise Single Sign-On. Global identity is that single, secure, consistent profile, enabling access seamlessly across all of our personalized experiences, across the data platform, simplifying administration. Now, I do love dark mode, but you can always opt for light mode. When you log in, you can see that actionable next step is right there on the front. You can take action immediately, or notifications will always be available in your notification center. Now, our chat-first interface is powered by natural language processing, meaning it's not just reactive, it's adaptive, offering instant and relevant insights that feel both personal and purposeful. Users will dive into site stats, offering visibility into things like platform status, metadata, operational context. This is about clarity at a glance. And when you need an answer fast, just do talk to text. Hey, Terry, can you help me find inventory items at risk for stocking out in store 104? Press go, and the system responds with precision. If an inventory risk is detected, it doesn't just alert, it offers actionable next steps. And that's insight with impact. Now, you can always revisit your prompts or check on a chat with Terry using the left menu. We know that change requires trust, so we're blending traditional navigational elements with conversational design. A focus on evolution, not disruption. Clicking into your projects, you can see recent activity, explore all of your workspaces, and really dive into where the magic happens. Our native notebooks, data preparation, exploration, SQL experiments, workflow design, all streamlined for speed and simplicity. And for technical users, we offer code-first visibility. You can inspect logic, modify code, collaborate in real time. This ensures transparency and control. And you can always ask Terry, show me sales and inventory levels from the last 6 days for the classic hoodie. When those insights are ready, save and share your dashboards and experiments. This is discovery turned into action. Now, of course, we're always embedding ourselves deeper into your data ecosystem. Our apps and integrations will always be easy to find and connect to because interoperability is key. Here you can tune your model in ModelOps to send a warning days or weeks in advance. Easily supercharge your model with vector store functionality, capturing that fuzzy context. And scheduling your embeddings with Airflow, done quite easily through our marketplace. Now, finally, returning home is always effortless. Users ask for an app, an insight, a project, or a notebook. They're free to explore with a foundation that feels seamless and intuitive. And this is our vision: agentic first, adaptive, persona-aware, conversational, and relentlessly focused on user value. It's not a roadmap, it's a glimpse of what's possible. And we're really excited to build it with you. So come find us in the expo. We're at the user experience and developer experience booths. You can learn more, sign up to join a research panel, join our developer community, and experience this new interface actually hands-on. Dive deep into how we're designing for the future and join us in our user experience session tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. All right, thanks for having me, Sumeet.
Thank you, Jillian. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
All right. It's very easy to show you a box, a chat box, but that chat box is backed by agents, data science agent to make ML pipelines easier, NL to SQL agent to make what Jillian showed you easier. So imagine everyone at Teradata building agents to support a user experience that is increasingly autonomous, making it so easy. All right, so as I said, we'll talk about the AI platform. And I shared with you how important and laser-focused we are on ROI, AI with ROI, which basically means we start with a use case. We start with very, very clear measured outcomes. We always think partners or Teradata services working with you together, forward deployed engineering, which we have invested in, it's available now, and then the platform, the AI and knowledge platform that brings that use case to life. That is the approach we are taking. The platform itself is a set of repeatable, reusable components. It's a horizontal platform, and there are many components to it. ClearScape Analytics is a building block that leverages the massively parallel engine we built to give you analytics and a breadth of analytics across SQL analytics, machine learning, that is the most performant and scalable in the industry. It's the widest breadth. That is one pillar of our AI platform. Add to that the vector store that we launched and is available now since June, and it uses the same parallel engine to deliver massive scale for vectors, for vector search, and also vector operations, and does that. It's available for all your RAG needs. It uses the same massively parallel engine as the analytics capability. So everything leverages the same engine. And then we have the ability to do model ops. We have the agent builder that we just launched about a couple of weeks ago, which itself is backed by an MCP server that is available now. So everything that I'm talking about can be done now. Let's invite to the stage our head PM for AI Workbench, Pablo, to talk further and walk us through a use case that uses the AI Workbench capabilities. Pablo? Thank you.
Thank you, Sumeet. In 2025, building models and agents is no longer the challenge. The real value is giving them the knowledge to act accurately and intelligently using your organization's context. Today, I'll show you 3 outcomes made possible by AI Workbench. an efficient model selection, picking the right size model for the right task, enriching the context with structured data and unstructured data, and a unified management controlling models, agents, deployments, and governance in one place. But let's see it in action. This is an end-to-end real-world use case from the customer services department. This challenge requires complex data interpretation, combining language, transactional customer behavior, and company documents to help responding customer complaints in real time. This will improve customer experience and reduce churn. The AI team will start their work on a friendly tool, Jupyter Notebooks. Our hosted Jupyter comes with use case templates, accelerators, and plugins to make their work faster and easier. The team needs to analyze thousands of complaints written by customers, and they decide to import and run a small language model directly in database, as they know it will have great performance and great accuracy for these tasks, such as complaints classification, complaints summarization, sentiment analysis, joining this text with the actual retail product catalog, and using embeddings to group similar customer complaints. With these insights as context, the AI application will detect faster the customer intent and provide more accurate decisions. They continue the experimentation on analyzing how to reduce customer churn. They want to incorporate a custom machine learning model to analyze churn based on past customer behavior. They can continue in the notebook, but they are now exploring a no-code path. They use AutoML in AI workbench to let the system analyze automatically the customer 360 datasets. They will go through the AutoML wizard, which is part of ModelOps, getting into customer services project and creating a new model using the user interface. Soon, all of this will be also with the agentic experience. They provide the queries. They select the target churn variable and run the process to generate multiple experiments to find the best model that predicts churn. After setting up and running the process, they review the experiments in a leaderboard and deploy the leader through a simple click. All the life cycle is tracked, and logs are available for full governance. The deployment is scheduled and includes dataset drift, tracking, and performance monitoring, and governance controls. Now this model is available to be used by the AI application to predict the probability of churn and use this as context of the response to adapt to the situation. The team now needs reasoning and language interactions, so then they need an AI agent. But this AI agent must be trained as a customer services agent of their organization. For this, they first use a large language model, leveraging our partnership with NVIDIA and the integration of NVIDIA NIM microservices in ModelOps. Inside the user interface, the team can deploy models from a catalog with model cards, select profiles, and deploy directly in GPUs. Now, these profiles provide the lowest latency in the industry, enabling real-time interaction. In the very close future, as part of our roadmap, we are incorporating what we call the AI Model Hub that will allow to register already existing model endpoints from NVIDIA NIM or from our partners in the cloud. Using virtual keys, the team can now securely access and use these large language models to implement the application and track the usage metrics, such as the request volume and the spend, enabling a secure and observable enterprise inference. Now the team wants to use a set of PDF documents that include the same education and reference that a human agent would use in their organization. This is perfect for augmenting the AI agent. And they use the enterprise vector store to ingest the documents, enabling semantic search in real time for the agent. They could use our integrations with coded frameworks like LangChain, but as easy as using the browser, they decide to upload the document through the user interface. Once this document is uploaded, and we're talking about a customer services playbook. This is quite interesting because it's great context to ensure that the agent inside the application acts with an accurate set of instructions. The team will use another key part of the Model Hub, which is the playground, where the team can experiment with different models They can test with document collections, MCP server connections, and instructions to optimize the response and validate the setup. It's an interactive and fast way to export production-ready code for the application. Now, at this point, the team has delivered models and agents with context ready for production that can be ready to be used by AI applications or as part of multi-agent workflows. Thank you for your time and your attention. And before I leave the stage, I just want to say that AI Workbench is available today as part of Teradata AI Factory for our on-prem deployments, and the cloud-native version with a new agentic experience is coming in early 2026. Come and visit us at the booth. We'd love to show you what's possible with AI Workbench. Back to you, Sumeet.
Thank you. Well done. I think I have to go shoe shopping after I looked at the first those two demo folks. But anyways, look, folks, I want to share a very profound understanding that I have gained in the last few days, months here, which is that Teradata has literally been built for this era. So why do I say that? Because when humans drive the use of technology, there is a specific behavior pattern. There is a specific time and intensity of usage. Steve shared how agents are changing that completely. They don't sleep. Like you and I want to sleep at night, but they don't. They're always on, and they are vigorous in their usage of data and knowledge platforms. Vigorous. And that means that you need the ability to do heavy, steady, always-on workloads, which, by the way, I am not saying that. All my customers tell me, hey, when you try to mix workloads, when they're always on, when they're heavy, this is the most efficient engine. It's not a surprise to me, because we were born before cloud. And before cloud, you had no choice if you wanted to be the best. You delivered economics through efficiency. You made your engine super awesome in terms of squeezing everything from the CPU and I/O. That's what we did. Then the cloud platforms came, and they delivered economics through elasticity, because they said, hey, human behavior is such that people go to sleep. So why should the same system keep running? Let's scale it down. They did that. You're going to know by tomorrow that we are going to give you both options. But when it comes to agents, let me revise my vision statement. The best autonomous AI and knowledge platform for agentic workloads. That's where we are going, because that's the power of what we have built. This AMP, this is the unit. We are a massively parallel engine, shared nothing architecture, and each unit is called the AMP. The AMP is versatile. It is a SQL engine. It is a vector engine. It is an analytics engine. It is also the engine that can literally use a small language model in parallel inside the database, which basically means that when it comes to task-specific models, we are super efficient AI as well. And I'm super excited about that piece. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to ask Meeta, our head product manager, like she's the VP of product management for all things AI at Teradata, to come and talk about the agent builder and the work we are doing with agents. Meeta?
Thank you, Sumeet. Hello, everyone. At Teradata, we've never believed in AI for AI's sake, and we don't believe in agents for agents' sake. We are truly in the business and on a mission to unlock contextual intelligence for the enterprise. In a few seconds, I'll show you a demo. I want you to take 3 things away from that demo. 1, how easy we've made it for you to deploy your agents and use the agentic frameworks, how we bring context to life for these agents, and how our agents can explain themselves. So let's see the demo. This is a customer lifetime value use case in the financial industries. You'll see we have multiple agents that have come together to solve for a complex use case. These agents are orchestrated together to really help us optimize for the total customer lifetime value. To interact with the system, we can either automate it or start by asking a simple question. So let's just ask for tables that have all the customer information in them. When we ask that question, we'll see that the data exploration agent is activated. It talks to Teradata's MCP server and hundreds of tools associated with it, and it brings back the data we asked for. So we have customer profile information, customer 360-degree data, including customer complaints. Now let's see what happened in the background when we asked that question. When we asked that question, the first agent tried to understand the intent of the question. Then it passed it on to the right next agent, which was the data exploration agent, which then passed the results to an agent that could convert this into a human-readable format for us. Now let's ask another question, a more strategic one. What's the correlation between churn and customer lifetime value? This time, the insights generator agent is activated, and it comes back and tells us there's a negative correlation. Churn is going to go up, and customer lifetime value is going to go down. We can continue to ask it more strategic questions, so let's ask them, what are the factors that impact churn? This time, when we ask that particular question, we will see that the strategic insights agent is going to be activated. In the background, that agent is talking to a churn predictive model that's running in Vantage. It's talking to our MCP server, and it's talking to hundreds of tools. And it comes back with a bar plot, and it shows us the different factors that are impacting churn. You'll notice that one of the biggest reasons the churn is high is for customers who are only holding on to credit cards. So right off the bat, we have information we can action on. We can ask the agent to explain why it came with this outcome. Or give us strategies on how to reduce churn. When we ask the agent that question, it gives us targeted information, not generic information. This power of prescriptive analytics would not be possible without the contextual intelligence that our agents have. We can actually just ask the agent, can you explain how you came up with this response? And when we ask that question, which is absolutely table stakes in regulated industries, with EU AI Act just around the corner, the agent actually comes back with a response and explains why it came with a certain response. It not only tells us the data and the information it used, it also gives us their chain of thought and chain of reasoning. We can dive deeper and ask questions about a specific customer. And the agent will ask, do we have the right to access that information? And you'll see anonymized data here about a customer's profile, their financial information, their churn propensity, and prescriptive guidelines on how to hold on to that particular customer. What I absolutely love about this demo is how we've made it super easy for you to deploy multi-agent workflows on Teradata, how our agents have context awareness, and how our agents can explain themselves. I'd love to hear your use cases. I'm sure you're dealing with really interesting AI problems and agentic AI use cases. We have a booth in the expo hall, as well as we're running an agent builder workshop in the afternoon today. We are going to do a private preview of Agent Builder in Q4, so we would love to get it in your hands and get your feedback. But please come find one of us to give us feedback on Agent Builder. Now let me show you the anatomy of Agent Builder. When we look at an Agent Builder, the demo I showed you used Flowise, but you can use any of the tools listed here. We've optimized the entire stack, whether it's hardware, whether it's storage or compute, whether it's our vector store capabilities, our feature store, agent memory, short-term and long-term, contextual intelligence, ease of use, and agent ops. We have packaged it all together for you to be able to build agents that are intelligent, explainable, and agents that scale. Thank you so much. Back to you, Sumeet.
Thank you. Thank you, Mika. All right, so essentially what you saw was a description of our AI platform. And between analytics, vector store, model ops, agent builder, we have all the components ready, along with our forward deployed engineering, partners, and services, to focus on use cases, focus on ROI, and do it now. And we have taken this agent building to heart. We have, Steve spoke about autonomous customer intelligence. We have these amazing applications for customer support, for customer experience, and customer marketing that are also going agentic. They are becoming tools first to agents. You can build these agents anywhere, leverage Teradata's capabilities as tools via the MCP server, or you can build agents right in the Teradata environment. So this is the future we're looking at. Now, there is one thing that I'm super excited about, which is our integration with NVIDIA. As I said, integrations must go beyond PowerPoint, beyond press releases, and this is in code. It's available now. What we can do and have done is essentially take PDF documents, ingest it into the NVIDIA AI Enterprise stack running on NVIDIA GPUs, and then generate embeddings from there, insert those into our vector store, and then you can, the world is your oyster. You can use that for RAG, for agents, whatever you want. I'm excited about that, about this integration, but let's hear more from Chad Olds, who's going to join me on a chat about the Teradata and NVIDIA partnership. Chad? Welcome.
Thank you.
And Chad leads all of America's software sales for NVIDIA, and he's also the customer success leader for, from a software perspective for NVIDIA, if that is correct.
You got it.
And I'm super excited. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, let's get this going, Chad. Let's talk about the Teradata NVIDIA partnership. And obviously, agents are the rage of the town, and really a good bet. Tell us what this partnership means for our customers in terms of AI, strategic autonomy, and autonomous agents.
Yeah, it's one I'm particularly excited about. It really starts with Teradata's heritage in structured and unstructured data. I've been around Teradata for a long time. I started by competing with Teradata 15, 20 years ago. Got beat way too much, so then I partnered with Teradata for a long time. And when I was asked to talk in here, it was something exciting to me, because when you think about, you mentioned it earlier, right? Teradata always had the raw horsepower. They were always really, really good at unstructured and structured data. And they didn't just do it by scale, they did it by pure speed, right? And when you think about what you need now to bring us from generative AI to agents, it's really that unstructured data, because what makes humans special, right? We're not encyclopedias. I can go anywhere on a Google search and find out more knowledge than what I have, but it's the associations that we can make, and that's where Teradata really helps. And on the NVIDIA side, we've been doing AI software for quite a while, starting with CUDA and lots of iterations up to this point. And so it's always been very critical to us that it's open and it's secure, and it gives organizations the choice and the flexibility to deploy wherever they want. So whenever we were having a conversation with Teradata a little over a year ago about what we could do together, our product teams really, really worked hard together to push each other to make AI easy to deploy for the enterprise customers.
Yeah, thank you, Chad. The world has moved really fast. Like when November 2022 happened, everybody was talking about generative AI.
Yep.
Now everybody's talking about agentic AI, right? And talk to us about what this transformation to agentic means for enterprises, and also what role does structured and unstructured information play in that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's so let's start out with the generative AI idea, because it's meant a couple of things as we've gone along. We all started, we saw ChatGPT, got excited about it because you could ask it questions and get really cool answers. But at the beginning, I don't know if you guys remember, but when you started, it'd say, oh, the data is only relevant up to September 17th of 2022, whatever it was, right? And so you couldn't ask it who won the Super Bowl. It didn't have any relevant data, which makes it not that useful. It makes it not as useful as a general web search, right? And then RAG came along, retrieval augmented generation. And so now the data became relevant. It became time relevant. And it gave organizations the ability to bring in their own financial data, customer data, all that good stuff. But something different is happening now. It's moving to agents. And like I mentioned before, the unstructured data is really key to something being able to make autonomous actions. And what is an agent? An agent is something that it can act autonomously. It can adapt to the environment, the changing environment, especially when you're talking about things like manufacturing and physical environments that need adaptation all the time. And then it learns, it self-improves, it gets better So the only way to unlock that is unstructured data. And there's not a lot of organizations that know it better than Teradata.
Yeah. Chad, thank you. Let's get into use cases because,
Yeah.
AI with ROI, use case backwards. So we spoke about agents, we spoke about structured, unstructured. What are some use cases that require both? And then talk to us about Teradata and NVIDIA, how we are coming together to enable autonomous agents to address these use cases.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've all had the experience. You call somewhere, they give you a agent, quite a while, and you hit 0 as many times as you can to get past it. And why do you do that? Like if you asked it the basic question, it could probably give you the answer. But your question's different. You're calling for a reason. If it was basic, you wouldn't have called. So customer service is the first one I'm really excited about. Because it's not just the, do I have a subscription? What's the transaction data on my account? The beautiful tabular, structured, time-stamped data. It's really about what is the instruction manual saying? I don't care how well somebody trains their customer service. Nobody can understand every PDF, right? So that's the first one, is customer service, low-hanging fruit. Everyone should be doing it now. If you're not, you're wasting a lot of money. The second and slightly more complicated one is the regulatory compliance side. So when you think about regulatory compliance, yes, financial data, you've got some structured data, but really regulatory filings, recent updates from the government on some random website that you're supposed to follow. These are things that agents can constantly go out and find anomalies. That's something that agents are really good at, and we're not so good at finding anomalies. So you can really get that regulatory environment set. And then finally, manufacturing. I think 15 years ago when I was at IBM doing Watson stuff, we were talking about predictive analytics. And it turns out it's really hard. It's not all time series data. Right? There's a lot of unstructured data. There's a lot of information out there on how you actually fix something. So in the manufacturing setting, certainly the structured and unstructured is key.
Yeah, absolutely. So there is this AI factory term has taken off like crazy, right? And I think when we were chatting backstage, I was fascinated by some of your comments. I want them to hear it, right? Which is these AI factories as the next generation data centers for intelligence. And share with us how it'll transform enterprise operations over the next, I won't say decade. No, I think decade is too slow, please. Right? Whatever, days, weeks,
days, weeks,
maybe months. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's define AI factory for a second, because we've all heard these terms. They get really cool, and everyone wants to talk about. You hear data lake, you hear data lake house, you hear all these different pieces. But really, an AI factory, it's not that different than any other factory, right? Most factories, let's say you're creating bolts, right? The factory requires energy in, and it requires steel in, and out comes a bolt for a motor, right? It is no different on the AI factory now. The energy is the same. In fact, it may be a little bit more sometimes. The energy is there. The data is the other raw material. And out comes tokens. And tokens you can think of as that is the stand-in for intelligence. It's a measurement of intelligence. And the tokens, they directly correlate to things like cost savings and speed and really competitive advantage. But this agent thing has changed this too, right? Because for the last, forever ago, a year and a half ago, when we really started talking about these things and they started working, it was about raw materials in, data and energy, and tokens out. But now with agents, it's actions, it's results on the other end. So in a year and a half, we went from something that's just really good at giving an individual the information they need to something that can actually create actions and create results on the other end.
That's lovely. Tokens, intelligence, action.
Yeah.
I like that. Moving fast. All right. What advice would you give us, all of us enterprise leaders who want to go from this experimentation, I would call it AI hackathon phase, demo phase, to real full-scale transformation with AI, full-scale deployment?
The first one, you do have to start, and you have to start very quickly. You do have to start now. It's not getting easier. It's not getting slower. It's not getting less complicated. You have to start moving now. We heard it earlier. Jensen, my CEO, has been saying it forever. AI won't take your job. Somebody using AI will. But it's no different with organizations. AI won't necessarily disintermediate your company, but another organization using it absolutely will at this point. I mean, that is an absolute statement. right now. So getting started is very important. But let's talk about how to get started, because this is different than some of the analytics things we've seen in the past, where it was mostly enterprise, right? People didn't have data lakes at their house. A couple of people did. Not a lot of people had those kinds of things. But here, everybody's using AI, and it's changing most of our lives in one way or another. And so everybody at your organization is thinking to themselves, like, oh, how can I use this AI to make my job better, right? And that's a neat thing, but it's a huge problem when you're trying to decide what use cases to pick up. So when I go into an AI center of excellence or a C-suite at a Fortune 500, every time you walk in, they say, we've got 200 AI use cases that we want to do, and it's going to transform our business. And it's like, OK, cool. Like, that's great. But you need to pick two. Like, pick two. One might not work right. Pick two. No, we have 15 that are very similar. Let's do all. No, you pick two. And I really suggest starting with customer service or regulatory or something like that, something very basic, a well-traveled path. And then leverage the capabilities of an organization that's already integrated everything. And I think that's where Teradata and NVIDIA is really exciting. If your data is sitting on Teradata, our product groups have worked very hard together to make sure that this is a quick start, it's a successful start, so that you can go back to your board and say, hey, boom, we did this, here's our ROI, let's do the next 10. So I think that's kind of the big piece. You have to start now, and you do have to start small. Don't let your eyes get big.
I love that. Start now, start small. Chad, thank you so much. We really appreciate the partnership with you and with NVIDIA.
Likewise.
And that was a great session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, folks, what you heard from us today was essentially our commitment to focus on ROI for you. Our commitment to deliver an AI platform that fully harnesses the data and the context and the knowledge that exists inside of Teradata to deliver outcomes, business outcomes, more value from your investment in Teradata. We are ready for this now, but we are not done for the possible session on product. This was only half the story. We're working like a startup. There's a lot more to talk about. Come back tomorrow, and we'll cover the topics of knowledge and compute and how all this is coming together to serve you more value from Teradata. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us today. I think it's break time, and then we'll know more about the logistics from there. Thank you.